This is BreakmanX, and welcome to the game show on June 11th, 2025. How's it going, happy people?
Doing good.
Doing good. People are coming in hot. People are coming in hot. But the game show is a celebration of video games and our collective interests mixed with a healthy dose of humor while bringing in our favorite people in the game and movie industries on as guests, except for not for tonight, because we're going to be talking about a couple things have happened fairly recently. The Switch 2 launched. It was a big to-do. Very exciting. And Summer Game Fest happened. Sony's State of Play. And the Xbox Showcase apparently happened. I don't know. We'll have to ask Jack when he arrives. But yeah. So we have a different arrangement here on the screen thanks to Jess arriving, and I couldn't figure out where to put people. So we'll see how this goes. For now, Fenris Wolf Retro says time to start trashing on the Switch 2. I don't think so, my friend.
Uh-oh.
I don't think so.
Got beef in the chat tonight.
Stop. If you want to join in on the chat, by the way, and you want us to read your comments on air, you can go ahead and go to BreakmanX.com, click on the Discord, or comment down below. We would really appreciate that. Logan will be keeping you up to date on the happenings as we go. We've got some merch. Check out Blue Gamer, Adam Blue's channel. He wore our shirt on his stream a couple days ago, and it was really cool to see it. I have one as well. The cup's really nice too, so enjoy. Logan, how you doing this evening?
Doing fantastic, I'm excited. I don't have a Switch 2 myself, but I'm excited to talk about everybody's experiences with the Switch 2 and anticipate it, because I do plan on getting one eventually.
Nice.
Yeah,
you should. I think it's a good investment. And Darria, thanks for flying in tonight.
Catch what you did there. Yeah, I take my drone certification test tomorrow, so been studying quite hard for that. So I'm pretty confident that I will do pretty well on it. But
I think
very
you're gonna
tired.
pass it with flying colors.
My goodness.
How often are people going to pass flying tests? I get to use these terrible jokes. And Jess, save us from ourselves. How are you doing this evening?
I'm doing really good. I'm glad to be in the light and visible, because I have spent the last 48 hours sitting in my apartment in the dark because a fuse blew, and I couldn't get anybody from maintenance to come help. And it wasn't I went to the fuse box and I tried to flip it because I could see which one it was, but it wouldn't go no matter what I did. And so apparently you have to for this one, you have to flip it the other way and hold it for several seconds and then flip it back for it to work. So yeah, I've been in the dark since Monday night. And I got lights back a couple hours ago.
Well, I saw your post,
Dang.
in the staff, I almost said staff forums because I went back to 2006, but in the staff Discord, talking about that. It was going to be funny if you, I hope you have lights for sure, but it'd just be funny if you're just in the dark. My favorite was when we did the try episode and my camera didn't work. And so I'm saying hey, what's up? And there's nothing here. Yeah, I edited that. By the way, if you watch, you can't edit it on YouTube, but on the Spotify version, the other versions, if you watch it, I edited. I went back through and I mimed all my actions for the first part of the episode. They don't match perfectly either, but it's good enough that no one complained, because man, on Spotify they will complain. But yeah, since we're not quite ready for the Switch 2 discussion, which is coming, we could talk about something that you three are working on. Maybe the BreakmanX documentary that you guys the game show documentary, really, that you guys are working on. How's that going? Is there anything you'd like to share about to get people excited out there? What is it, first of all? It's been a while since we've talked about it.
Yeah, so it's kind of evolved since its initial inception, but at this point, it's taken an interesting turn, because we started making the doc before the show even started back up again. And now the show has started back up again, which is an interesting,
Boy, has it.
addendum to the story. So we're gathering some new interviews and everything from, some updated interviews from people that are currently involved in the show, and it's brought the length of the documentary up for sure. But it's going to be good. Like everything that Ivan's done with the edit has been fantastic, and it's going well. No,
it's that's actually how the show came about again for 2.0 here. They were started out Darria and Logan, and now Jess is on board as well. They were interviewing Jack, Maul, and myself, and it really made us realize how much we missed doing it. And then, of course, we had to add in some new folks. But anything, Darria, you want to add about how things are going?
We have some interviews that we're going to be conducting at the end of this week. And we're working on trying to what is it? I have some questions, additional questions for you, Matt. That kind of we all talked about, but how do we want to wrap this documentary up? How do we
I'm going to spill some beans that haven't been spilled before. Beans are going to be spilled. We'll see if it makes it in, but they're going to be initially spilled.
Yeah, looking at adding more voices about the past experiences with the show.
So it's really it's
the current
whole
ones. It's
the whole history, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Nice. And Jess, now that you're on board, as a writer, I know you've helped to tweak the structure of it. How's it been coming on board for it?
It's been great. So I haven't been working on the doc the entire time, but I've been around for it, right? So to be able to jump in and be a part of this has been great. And at this point, it's really just that kind of restructuring type of thing, because everything that we had was already great. But, as it's been said, the show has started back up. And so it's figuring out how to kind of wrap it up and play with the structure, because there's a different ending now.
And more content.
More content.
Yes.
Yeah, and everything's going really well. We obviously here in the site uniques have gone up substantially in the last. They've been gradually going up, but they had a huge boost in May and so far in June. So things are going really well. We're really happy with how things are going. But keep your eyes out, your ears out. At some point, I'm sure in the maybe distant future, there'll be a trailer that you can see, and then but it's fun to see where they go with it, to see how they put the story together, to see what the other voices say about everything, and maybe some voices that y'all haven't heard for 22 years. So
we just got a comment from Fenris. Fenris says, "Should be an interesting watch indeed." I appreciate it. I'm glad you're looking forward to it.
Well, it's gonna be interesting. I'm gonna be interested. Well, Jack is coming in hot. He's literally beginning of episode 3, coming in on that flaming spaceship. So he should be here shortly. But let's go ahead and start talking about the second Switch. Switch 2.
With the people who did get one.
With the people who didn't get one, because that is optimum.
Yeah.
I got one though, so I could talk about it. No, I didn't think that I was gonna get one. Nintendo, I registered immediately after they allowed you to, and even though I did register immediately, Nintendo decided that they didn't want me to have one. They didn't send me an invite, and kind of sad about it. But luckily, BreakmanX went fairly early in the day and got in line at Best Buy when we found out they're gonna have some extras there. Got in line and got not only the Switch 2, but the Mario Kart World Bundle, which is nice because it saves some cash. We got a Pro Controller 2. And then I'd pre-ordered a GameCube controller, I don't know how long ago. And that came in too. But I can give you kind of my initial impressions of what it is. I know Fenris really likes it. He's been talking about how much he likes it in the Discord.
Yeah, we actually just got a new comment from Fenris.
Put it into stone. Fenris loves the Switch 2. I think he's got 8 of them. Oh, it's 9. My bad. Just kidding, Fenris. We know we love you. But no, the Best Buy launch. I'll start there. Jack had a different experience. My experience was great. Like, I haven't actually had a retail experience that was that good in quite a while. I'm gonna put at some point soon the Halo 2 launch video that I did back in 2004 when it came out. That was a fun launch. There's some other launches that were really fun. The Wii launch was really fun when Maul was making burgers. That's probably my favorite launch, the Maul burger event. That was a lot of fun, and the whole BreakmanX crew was there. So, and it was about as big as the current one. So there's a lot of people there. No, it was really, really great. We stood in line. They handed out tickets, and orderly and organized. They escorted us in. I was very excited. They let the whole family in, so we all got to go in. BreakmanX and I, Break Girl X, Break Boy X, and Break Teen X, I guess we're going with. So we all got to go in and have the enjoyment of getting the Switch 2, and it was super easy and chill. We came home, plugged it in, played the update game, which took a little bit longer than I remember the Switch 1 doing. But anyway, I just have to commend the Best Buy in here. It was just in Topeka. It was just absolutely perfect. Like, I don't think that the launch... And I saw Malachi, a wild Malachi, who's video editor on the site and is also editing the game show movie. So it was cool to see him. I was just standing there, and someone taps me on the back. He's like, "Hi." I was like, "Hey, Malachi, how's it going?" Yeah. But anyway, took it home, set it up. It took a little bit longer than I remember the Switch 1 going. There's also, make sure you watch the My Life in Gaming short they put up on it. It's a little bit tricky to do the HDR, and it's tricky because they apparently don't know what they're doing with HDR or just don't want you to enjoy it. I don't know which one. But when you go in to set up the HDR, you first do your HDR setting. And then once you... Hey, Maul!
Hey!
Hey, folks,
How's it
what's
going?
up?
What's up?
It's good.
We're just talking about Maul burgers, and then we're talking about the launch experience.
Oh, yes,
for
the
Switch 2.
classic, the Maul burgers.
That was one of the best. I think that's my favorite launch of... that was a fun launch.
Good times.
In terms of line burgers. But no, it the plugging it in, getting it all set up was fun. Getting the code in there to get Mario Kart World downloaded in about 30 minutes, which I don't know, isn't too bad. And then it downloaded like every Switch 1 game. The transfer thing was super easy, like probably the easiest system transfer I've had with the system. You just have the Switch 1 close to the other one, and it does it.
That's cool.
They talk.
That's
and
pretty cool.
Hug. And
Yeah. Well, I've been
really
impressed with the compatibility overall because I've seen that you can connect like Switch 1 Joy-Cons and Pro controllers of the Switch 2, which is
And the
awesome.
8-bit Do controllers got an update. It actually, so many people updated it crashed their update server. So it's working again now. But the 8-bit Do have some really cool controllers that are also really nicely priced compared to some of the other ones. And they were using Nintendo's like molds for their Super Nintendo style controller. I think they got sued or threatened, so now they're slightly different, but they're still really, really good. Really, really good. So you can use that stuff with the Switch 2 now, with the update. But yeah, the launch experience was great. And as I understand, Maul, you just waltzed into Target and got one, just like you do. Is that what happened?
Yeah, pretty much. I tried to follow in your footsteps and go to Best Buy, but did not have anyone there, a plant in line, to hold out.
Yeah, you texted me like, "There's 400 people here."
Yeah, that was about right. So there was like the line, which is amazing because like they were giving out tickets. I could see them in people's hands still as I slowly, drove by the line staring at it. And despite that, 50 people had those tickets and the other 300 or so were just waiting behind them I guess hoping it was just a cruel ploy that they hadn't been given tickets, and I would still end up managing to get one. But that line was wrapped like around the building at the Best Buy, so it was pretty nuts. So I didn't think I had much chance, and then the next day while I was at work, I just skipped Target. So I was like, I don't feel like getting up early. There'll be a line already, and turns out Target did not have any lines. When I looked on the inventory on their website, I saw the numbers were still there. People still had them in stock, but they were slowly like ticking down, and stores were running out. And by the time I got off of work, they were marked as out of stock. But I just kind of walked in anyway, and they were putting out the canceled pre-orders because people had been double dipping. I found online a lot of people had pre-ordered them, but then went and waited in line anyway, trying to double dip, or Target wasn't going to ship them if they were doing like a mail order until like the day of, and they were mad they had to wait a day or two for the postal service to bring it to them, so they just went and bought it from like a GameStop or whatever also anyway, and then would cancel the first one. And so those were going back out. So
I'm really glad that you got one.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I'm glad to get it. Nintendo and my history of just walking in and getting one continues. So,
Yes.
we'll keep testing that with the future
awesome.
exhibits and all that. So future releases.
I have to say, I was super, like, when I got I didn't think we'd get one. I thought I'd have to wait a few weeks, which, was fine. Whatever. You can wait a few weeks. But I was super excited when she sent me the text and had the ticket.
Yeah.
So, and I played.
Though, did you think the box was kind of cheap?
Honestly, I was.
It's kind of a small nitpick, but I was like, man, this is
I kind of tore through it like a ravenous animal. Don't remember. I was too excited.
I mean,
I
think it's probably like a recycled,
rip it.
like a recycled cardboard or something like that. But it's a very kind of chintzy looking box. I don't know.
I wanted them to cut down a tree just for
package. Me. Yeah.
I'm just kidding. No, thinking back, it was a little cheap feeling. But yeah, I'm pretty. We'll talk more about the kind of impressions with the games and whatnot here pretty soon. But the overall system, the experience of getting it, was really. I'll talk a little bit more. Well, actually, I'll talk about it next. But it was a really fun experience, and I played it until 4 a.m, which I hadn't done in quite a while. Our eldest was really BreakmanX was kind of like, I'm tired, I'm going to bed, and didn't even play it. Hey, Jack's here. Welcome.
Sorry I'm late.
Tight.
No problem.
Tight. We're just glad you're here.
You're not the only one. It's fine.
We're just planning. We're just talking about our Switch 2 line experience, and we'll get into yours here in just a second. But I know you had to wait, but but yeah, no, it was super exciting. Jack, actually, go ahead and tell us. I just kept like seeing your texts, and like I was like playing it, and you're like still in line.
Yeah, so I've been through a few console launches myself, much like Maul has. Like, there's a pretty and it wasn't at a small retail shop. It was at a GameStop, an EB Games. Like, there's a process, right? Like, how many people have pre-ordered it. How many people hadn't. You've got all your bundles put together, so like who's getting what games and what controllers and what extras with each system. And I'm not gonna say which one it was, but man, the Best Buy we went to,
Honolulu.
like you would have thought that they've never seen one of these things before. Like, it's been 5 years since the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X and S launched. So like you would have thought they have never, like nobody there at the time has ever been through one of these things before, because man, it was just a mess. There was. Go ahead.
That's what I was expecting. Honestly, I was expecting a mess here, and it was like probably. I mean, not the ones that were when you were running them. Obviously, those were better. But besides those, this was about the best one I've been to. I mean. The worst, when I got the GameCube, they literally just opened the doors and you just ran. And then they yelled at you for running. It was like the running of the bulls. So, getting the ticket. But
Yeah.
anyway, continue with your.
Yeah,
Day
no,
of horror.
so they essentially had two lines. They had one line that was for all the people that didn't pre-order. They had one line for all the people that did pre-order. So naturally, my son and I, we both went to the line where we had things pre-ordered, and we got there around 11 o'clock. Like we literally watched like some of the first people come out because they had just let the first people in to go get their systems, and so we were like, oh, this isn't going to take long at all. They're already letting people in, letting things go home. So we felt pretty good about that. Even though the line for the people that hadn't pre-ordered was literally around the side of the building, there had to be at least 300 people in that line. And when we got to the pre-order line, again, there were about 300 people. So there were a lot of people there. But they let, for every 2 people that went into the store, they had 2 people from each line go. So they essentially had about 4 people in the store at any given time. But they weren't prioritizing the people that had pre-orders. They were just letting everybody go in from each line, alternating. And it slowed things. The best I can tell, it slowed things way down. Like we went in, I showed them my receipt, showed them the app. They gave me they basically had my system sitting there, but then it took them another 5 minutes to go find the game, the controller, and the memory card that I had pre-ordered. And I was just like, guys, what are you doing here? Like, I put this all on one order. You know, it's all for me. Like, why don't you just have everything in one pile? And I obviously didn't actually say anything to them, but just in my head, that's what I'm thinking. It was nuts. Like, I was like, no wonder this thing, like, we did not leave the store until 1:45 a.m. And so, like, my son, he was a trooper. Like, I did not expect us to be there for 2.5 hours. But he was great. We got home, we got the thing set up. But, like, when we left, there were still people in both lines, but they were pretty drawn down. The pre-order line was just about done. The people that didn't have consoles pre-ordered, they weren't wrapped around the building anymore, but there were still more of them. But I talked to the guy walking out, the Best Buy worker, and he's just like, yeah, we got tons of these things. So, like, I don't think anybody's going to leave without one tonight. So I was shocked because I just had built it up in my mind that if you didn't get one on launch night, you probably weren't getting one for a while. But they must have been stockpiling them for quite some time.
That's kind of what I was saying. I was reading before the launch is that it was like conflicting reports because some areas were saying they had like almost nothing and they were expecting a huge drought, and they did ultimately sell out of the whole stockpile at all the stores. But other places said they had just like huge unprecedented launch. So I don't know if it was just by area or what the deal was. So
I'm not sure, but I saw the announcement. I think it was earlier this morning or yesterday. They sold through all 3.5 million of their original allocated consoles already, which I think shattered the previous record set by the PS5.
Yep.
Wow.
The Switch would do it.
And people were like, no one's going to buy it. No one's going to buy it. Price too high. No one's going to buy it. That's always
your GameStop didn't drive staples through your screen there, Jack. That would be.
Oh man, I saw that. I was just like, yikes.
Oh yeah, I did see that too. I would.
Yeah, that was crazy.
They always.
Generous left to comment about that too. Yeah.
They always talk about Nintendo's gonna die, and then Nintendo's like, nope, we're just gonna do it better than everyone.
Yeah, I do like the breathlessness that it was taking some of the games Twitter and Blue Sky by storm. Is like, oh my god, this is happening everywhere. Like, nah, it's like maybe like 2 GameStops worth of idiots that were doing that. It's just like, it sucks for the people that got it from there, but hey, it happens. I've done dumb stuff too, just not with a console.
Wow. Well, I'm glad that some of us have one, and that some others will have it at some point. That'll be exciting. So, Mario Kart is obviously the big launch game with the system. There's a lot of them, but that's the big one, right? It was a joke. There's no others, really.
there's like 3 others.
There's 3 others. Hard hitting games that are not that they're bad or anything, but Mario Kart World is the big cheese But no, I really like Mario Kart World. I love the way that the carts handle. I instantly liked the handling of the carts better than 8. Although 8 is, probably my favorite Mario Kart of all time. Deluxe. I think that World could eventually surpass it if it gets some more content, things like that. But I played it with our eldest until 4 a.m. About 3:30. Then I played some Breath of the Wild. But we played and played and played. I love the knockout mode. That is a lot of fun. Just having the races go and go and go. Rainbow Road blew our minds. Like that level is a trip. It is so beautiful. When we were playing, all the kids were like, "Wow, it's so pretty!" Like it's pretty amazing. It's by far the most impressive Rainbow World. World. God, I can't say it. Rainbow Road.
Rainbow
It's
Road.
not a world. It's not a world. It's in Mario Kart World, but not. But the thing that I would say really hits me with that game is just how gigantic everything feels, even though there's less tracks. Obviously Mario Kart 8 added them over the years, so it started with less than World has now. But
what do you think of the way that they do the Grand Prix, where like you do the first track and you do your 3 laps around it, but then every subsequent race after that, you're driving from the end of that one race to the next one, and then you do like 1 lap, maybe 2 on that next track. I think I'm starting to get the feel that I know that first track really, really well, but then the rest of them is just like, if you dump me in that like right off the bat, I would have no clue like where that track is or how it runs or anything like that, because you just don't get enough time on it. And
I'm super indifferent to it. I don't know. They were like really trumping that up as like such amazing thing. You're gonna drive between the tracks. I didn't think it sounded interesting when they announced it, and I could kind of take it or leave it. Like if you could disable it, I probably would disable it. I just don't. I love the game though. I just think I don't get that.
Yeah. I think it's a great Mario Kart. I'm still trying to figure out where exactly I would put it. But one thing I think that would give it a little bit of a boost in my rankings would definitely be just a classic Grand Prix mode where you just do the tracks.
Yeah,
that's it. Because there's something about doing the lap 3 times, because like literally until we did like we started going through the 150cc with my son, like we were like, where is the start of this track, where's the end of this track? Like there's some really cool ones too, like the end of that first series, the Donkey Kong level, like the Donkey Kong spaceport. That is awesome.
It is a really awesome level too.
But
my second favorite.
You like drive up it and that's it. And I'm just like, well, it'd be really cool if we actually got to go like, maybe once or twice around this thing, or 2 or 3 times, not just once.
Like I know in Mario Kart 8, sometimes, you do the first lap and you kind of dial in, and then you do better on the second and third laps.
Yeah.
I kind of like the one, I don't know. I could go either way. I mean, I think it's hard. You can't judge it against 8 Deluxe, because 8 Deluxe had so many tracks added, here on after. I mean, it's kind of it just released, so I'm excited about it. But it's right now it's probably my favorite Mario Kart. It kind of made me want to go back and play some of the old ones too. Maybe want to play the Wii, GameCube. Super Nintendo one. I know most of people don't like it anymore. I still think it's fun. One thing. Great. Oh, this is what I was saying. Mario Kart World has some awesome music. Holy moly!
There's a lot of
jazz fusion Mario.
there are a ton of little like hidden tracks just kind of sprinkled
the Super
throughout.
Mario Brothers 2 inside the thing. Oh, when that came on, I was like, oh my god, you kids don't know what this is, but it is so awesome that it's there.
Yeah.
It is so good. It's so well done. The music is amazing. Mario Kart 8 had great music too, but I think this is better.
Yeah.
Even.
Yeah.
Oh wow. I love 8.
I was totally Leonardo DiCaprio in Once Upon a Time in America in Hollywood, just like pointing at the screen every time one of those songs would come up.
Oh yeah.
And my son's just like, what, Dad? I'm like, it's the song. Like, oh my god.
Yeah.
And I had to explain to him.
I want more
was going
retro
on.
track. I hope they add some more retro track. I love the reimagining of some of the retro tracks on World. They're so different. The water's great. The water looks really great.
The
it feels
water
like
level,
Wave Race a little bit.
Yeah, I would say the water levels, like where you actually get to go through some of the water, where it's actually got some waves and some chop to it, is really cool.
And when it rains, it foams.
Oh, that's cool.
Yep.
What did you think of the new rail grinding and wall hopping mechanics?
It's cool.
Super Sonic
Go ahead,
Adventure
go ahead,
2.
Break.
Sonic Adventure 2. No, it's fine. I mean, I think it's kind of cool that you can do it, and you can drive on the walls. But after you do it a couple times, I mean, you get a boost from it, so you want to do it if you can. It's not like earth shattering. I mean, Mario Kart is Mario Kart. Like they've pretty much perfected what Mario Kart is, and it's kind of like what I wanted out of the Switch 2 in general was just like the Switch 1, but like better and actual like hardware that doesn't run like a potato.
Yeah. I do think it's cool that they went the open world route for Mario Kart World, because you can still run like the classic Mario Kart 8 Deluxe on the Switch 2, and you get the more traditional Mario Kart styled game, and now you've got this new experience. You kind of get both.
Runs great too. We'll get to that in a little bit, but it runs great. It runs great on the Switch 2. Maul, did you get Mario Kart?
It was in the same box.
I felt like we're leaving you out up there in the corner. I wanted
just
to hear what
thinking
you
about
think.
it, because I mean, it's one thing that you're comparing Mario Kart, this one, to already like a host of other great games, so it's like, it's kind of like, where does it fit in that pantheon? But they're all still good. So, I don't know if there's a bad Mario Kart
one.
Well, that doesn't count, right? That's, but it's fun, and I'm still kind of just getting into it. I do like the rail grinding and wall riding mechanics, just because they're fun. I mean, you don't necessarily need to do them, but they're a little addition.
Doesn't it feel like Sonic Adventure 2? Like the way it's implemented?
I'd say it feels more like Tony Hawk, honestly.
That's what I was going to say, yeah. Tony Hawk.
Because you also, just when you jump up in the air and you hit the triggers to do, little flips and stunts in your cart.
You can do that in Sonic Adventure 2.
Yeah, we can do lots of things in Sonic Adventure 2.
You
Break
can.
everything
It's
Sonic
a great
Adventure
game.
2, okay? It's
Open your heart.
It feels a lot like that, and that's fine. It's just a little flourish on an already, good mechanic game.
I've watched some crazy videos of people just going through an entire level, just doing wall grinds and rail grinds, and it looks really cool. You can find some of those on YouTube and TikTok, but I will say, in a practical sense, it doesn't really work very well when you're actually racing against other people.
You get past.
But there is. I've seen some videos where a few time trial guys were able to break the course record by a minute.
Yeah.
By finding shortcuts and stuff that are available.
There are
only
shortcuts.
from doing. Yeah, then you can grind through them or into areas you couldn't normally access. So
this has some pretty cool shortcuts. I guess they all have shortcuts, but these seem to be the next level shortcut.
Yeah, there's some pretty banana stuff you can get through in there. Although, as far as the open world, I do enjoy that a lot. I kind of agree that it'd be nice to have both versions, traditional and the open world. But after so many versions of the normal, and there's so many kart racers, so many games that have tried to copy the formula or have copied it. It's good to get something a little different. I was kind of hoping to be a little more like Mario Kart Fury Road, where we'd be racing and just blowing each other up, and be a little more violent and everything on the way there. But
yeah,
I was hoping they'd have some multiplayer aspect to it, and it's disappointing it's only single player.
I was wondering too if the scene from the Mario movie was kind of a teaser to the more Fury Road style gameplay, because they were doing that kind of thing in the Mario movie, but it's fine.
I think this is a good harbinger of Nintendo games to come too on the Switch 2. That's my first thought playing this was wow, this is the kind of stuff we're gonna get this gen. And the Switch 1 had some great stuff. I mean, don't get me wrong, but it always felt like they were, trying to push it far beyond what it could actually do. And they had these great ideas that just kind of felt like I mean, not all the games. Like there were definitely games that ran excellently. Like there were like 3 of them, but the rest of them chugged a little bit.
I think most of those were Wii U games.
Yeah. There's the Wii U, which I loved the Wii U. We've talked about that. I really liked the Wii U, even though it, crashed and burned. I didn't care for the gimmick, like the screen thing, but I liked some of the games that were on it. I thought were really good.
Yeah.
And then now
we
they're
were
all
so
on the
excited
Switch
for that
1
at
and 2.
E3, but
We were. Oh my god! I thought it was cool. I just wanted Nintendo games that looked like they were from that like decade. Because we're basically still using GameCube. I mean, souped up hardware on the Wii, and then the waggle never was my thing. So,
And the Wii U could do some pretty impressive stuff, like Mario Kart 8 being technically a Wii U game. And
I think
still
it was
one of the better looking Switch games.
I think it was maybe it was Voltar. I can't remember. Someone was talking about the Wii U actually was a little bit better than most people give it credit for hardware wise. And I could be getting this wrong. Please don't yell at me. But I think it has to do with the GPU being pretty rad and the CPU being pretty crappy. And basically, if you could optimize that, you could do some pretty awesome stuff.
Yeah.
So if I got that backwards, let me know. Actually, let us know in the comments anything that you hate about what you're saying. We'd really like to know what you hate about what we're saying. That would be really great. And hit us up on the Discord too. You can put your birthday in now. Thanks to JB. But no, Mario Kart 8 or Mario Kart World feels like the most different Mario Kart since probably Double Dash. Double Dash kind of felt like what all the rest of them became kind of playstyle wise. And this one actually feels like they're trying to do, I mean, still Mario Kart, but it feels like they're actually trying to do something new, which is commendable. And I think they pulled it off. I think it's, I want to see, I'm excited for the downloadable tracks that are inevitable. Hopefully they announce those sooner than later. I'd love to see kind of
that might be where you get like the classic Grand Prix coming in. Maybe that's like
that's my hope. I've got 2 other hopes for some downloadable content. Number 1, I really hope they fill out the open world, because like I know they've got the P switches and they've got the question mark blocks for some like the time trial stuff and some of the little secret things, but like it just feels like it's sparse right now. So maybe that gets filled in with DLC later on down the road. And then the other thing is just like, I really would love to see, like, I don't know about you guys when you're playing the Grand Prix or even the knockout mode, but 24 racers, there's just a lot of shells flying around all over chaotic. The place. And it is, I don't know if I like the chaos more or if I want something that's a little more subdued, but it definitely, you get into a pack of like, you get into that middle of the pack and it feels like there's just no getting out of it.
It feels intense. Like it really does. And I kind of like the intensity. I mean, at first I was like, what? Like I'm getting nailed here every 2 seconds, but
yeah.
But yeah, I think that the items distribution is fine too. Like the amount of blue shells, etc. Things that come through seem like they're pretty okay.
Yeah, I like some of the new items too. Like the hammer is great.
The hammer is my favorite new one.
The super mushroom and the gold mushroom is actually pretty good too.
The freeze thing doesn't seem to be that great. And like Namek, what is Namek? And it turns you into something else? Does it do anything?
Turns you into somebody else, yeah.
Is that it?
That's pretty much it.
That's such a yes, you look different, and I lose.
It changes your physics too, just a little bit.
Oh, I guess it does.
Other character, yeah.
But the physics and the characters seem like they're less important in this one than previous.
It does, yeah. I think the vehicle you're using counts a lot more than who you're using in this one.
You know what I wonder if is like an alternative idea for how that could work is like swapping like you between 2 character positions. That could be interesting. Yeah. But like how chaotic Mario Kart is, like you can totally make it back. It's like an interesting reversal there.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Sorry, I sound like a game, but I really do enjoy it. It's a great Mario Kart game. I just have a few minor gripes with it.
I think you sound like you enjoy it. You're just being honest. You know? Like I mean I don't care about the driving between races that much. I haven't done much of the pure open world stuff yet, because it's basically single player unless there's some tricks that you can do. But since I've been playing it all multiplayer, I haven't really had a chance. I hope to do it. And when I play single player, I've been playing Breath of the Wild, which I'll talk about in a bit.
Fenris has some messages here I could read real quick.
Yeah, do it.
Yep. So Fenris says, Maul casually walks into a Taco Bell and wins a limited edition console. Yes.
That'd be awesome. That should be like a reality show. Maul gets
either way.
amazing things without trying.
And then Fenris says, the Wii U was a sad failure. It was so bad, Nintendo was legit pulling stock of them shortly after the Switch launched.
It was. I'm not saying it was a success. But I like some of the games. Some of the games that were on it were really awesome.
Yeah.
Did I tell? Go ahead, Maul.
Oh, it was one of those things where just like they had a pretty cool idea. Again, when we were at E3, we thought it was pretty exciting, and there was some interesting tech that they were showing off, but they just never got buy-in from the creators to the software. Everything was just like, well, you've got a little more technical power. I guess we'll just stick like Batman, and some other hot games at the time on here, but nothing like unique. Nothing that ever took advantage of the hardware.
Didn't sell well, and I think people were confused about the name.
Yeah,
like
third parties stayed very far away from it unless they were being paid by Nintendo to stay on.
Yeah, and that's always been kind of their thing, is like they need third party buy-in. They lost it with the N64, and while it's still a gem of a system for many folks, it was way behind Sony in sales. And then same thing with the GameCube and the mini discs. Loved the GameCube, but sales wise, the other two had a hard time keeping up. The Wii was their return to form, where they had too many people buying in. That one with all the extraneous games we got.
And my least favorite name of any Nintendo console too.
That's the Wii.
Not that it's horrific, but like it's my least favorite. The Revolution, when they were calling it Revolution, that's a great name. And then they're like, Wii.
Well, I'll tell you, nobody else. No other Nintendo console had somebody die trying to get one because of the
Wii to get a Wii.
Yep.
Yeah.
But we should pilot so there's a contest where on the radio you could if you could hold your Wii, like not go to the bathroom, you could win a Wii. But the trick was they kept giving them water. And like you can get water toxicity. Anything can become toxic, but like water toxicity is a thing. And someone literally died.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then they didn't even get the Wii because their bladder released when they died. So.
Jeez, it wasn't even worth it when they were dead. Jeez. Death.
All right.
Oh.
So Fenris also says the Wii U lives on now as an excellent hacked console.
It does. I don't do things like that, but it's really nice.
I will say, so there was a moment right after the Switch came out. My wife and I were on a cruise. We were coming back from a cruise, and we were in the duty free area as we were getting back, and literally saw a Wii U sitting there, new inbox, and it was like $150 US. It was just like, man, now that I know this thing's over, should I just spend one and just keep it in the box for the next 15, 20 years? And I literally was about to walk over to grab it, and Kelly grabs my wrist and says, no, it's not worth it right now.
It's always worth it.
All right.
And you're still holding that against her to this day, I can tell from your tone.
No, it was a smart move. It was the smart move.
We use such a great method.
All right. A couple more messages.
If you don't do it, but if you did, like the Wii hacking stuff on the Wii U, you can remove that terrible blur that the Wii has that make the Vaseline over every game. There's a lot of optimization. I think Wobbling Pixels has a video on it. Shows you how to like perfect, but you can make Wii games like look significantly better on the Wii U just by taking away some of the awful things Nintendo is like there's like a flicker filter, and the things they were doing made sense, I think, technologically for CRTs, but it makes on any flat screen LCD or later, it just looks terrible. So, but it's pretty amazing. I was BreakmanX wanted to play Wii Sports, the original, and he'd never played it on my Wii U with like the optimizations, and he was like, "Wow, this looks like way better." So,
Amazing.
Yeah, so you should try it out if you haven't. I mean, don't do it.
Yeah. Last few messages from Fenris. He's got some context on the story of the person that died, actually. It says, yeah. He says the worst part of it is it was a mother. She was getting it for a kid.
Oh, that's not funny.
So sad. No, it's not funny.
It's really sad.
Yeah. But last comment. Quote, I'm getting nailed every 2 seconds, BreakmanX 2025.
Why did you read that? Jeez Louise. I have to change the rating now. New shirt. All right. Did anyone purchase the tech demo game? I have not. I watched the My Life in Gaming video. Jack, I'm a sucker too. You wrote on the show notes you're a sucker. I'm also a sucker. I love that kind of stuff. What'd you think about the tech demo? That's $10 that should have been free.
Yeah, it should have been free, man. So I'm of two minds with it. So number one, it's got some really cool tech demo-y stuff in there. Like it is really cool. Just like they kind of do the HD Rumble 2 stuff. It's like, hey, you're like you can shake them and like. With the new Rumble stuff, like they have it where it feels like it's just full of like seeds, like a normal maraca, and then there's also a version where you can shake the maraca. It feels like it's got just one big rubber ball in it, and you can really feel the difference, which is really cool. And there's also a lot of little tech demos where like it has you use the controller as a mouse because I'm pretty sure they are assuming that nobody has ever used a mouse before, and like if your audience is like 10-year-olds, they're probably right. A lot of people that are younger just haven't used a mouse before with a computer, so it is a good little tutorial. But it's cool. Like there's some where you have to like dodge falling balls, and it's really cool. You get little achievements for lasting for so long. There's ones where like you have an X and Y axis, and you have to try to like using the rumble with the mouse, try to figure out where like the exact pinpoint source of the rumble is coming from. There's a really cool one that is supposed to show off 4K, where they basically have you play through Super Mario Brothers 1-1 in 4K.
Okay, now I'm gonna buy it.
Hertz. Like that's really
I
cool.
gotta compare it to the Retro Tank.
Yeah, but it's impressive. But then there's all the other stuff. Like the tech demos are really cool. Like I like every single one has been pretty awesome just to show off what the system does.
Do you have to have like every accessory? Do you have to have the camera? I don't have it. Well, you can apparently use like any webcam. I have an extra old webcam.
You can use any webcam with it. You do have to have every accessory if you want to like 100% the game, so to speak. So that includes like the Pro controller, the camera or a camera, including the steering wheel controller, like that little add-on that's a steering wheel. You have to buy that, but like for the actual overall thing, like you don't have to do any of that, and it's just a demo. Like it's still Nintendo. There's still no overarching achievement system, unfortunately. So what are you gonna? There's no bragging rights for it.
I'm not a big achievement person, but I don't understand why they don't have one. I think it'd be really cool, and they should definitely have one. Let's talk about the Pro Controller 2 for a second.
Hang on, before we get to that, just real quick, just last little thing on the tech demo thing, or on the welcome tour thing. I think you can tell like halfway through they decided they were gonna make people pay for it, because they gauge your progress by going to all these little pieces of the controllers and the screens to look at things, and they won't let you progress until you do that. You like go to other parts of the system. And I think they figured out, oh my God, if we just let people run around this thing, they'll be done with it in like 7 minutes, and people will be very angry.
Well, I read something about the difference between NOA and Nintendo of Japan. that the Nintendo of America always argued with Japan that there should be free pack-in games because in Japan that's not so much a thing. And Nintendo's leadership is pretty much like if we spend hours on something and people are working on something and they're being paid to do it, then we're going to charge for it. We don't give away our work for free. Like Miyamoto apparently was really upset that they gave away Wii Sports for free with the Wii because again, I like
so
the pack-in.
strange. Like you'd think that like America, home of capitalism, would be like
Right.
just wring every penny we can get out of them.
Yeah,
You know, that's
$1 every
Japan
time you
would
hit
be
the
like
ball in
arts,
tennis.
form. You know, show it off. Show off the perfection you've made. Just flip flopped.
Yep.
Don't know.
It's something about like devaluing the work or something. I don't know,
Yeah.
but I like the pack-ins. I think that's a great way to showcase what a system can do. And I think this tech demo thing might have been a nice pack-in. People would have bitched about it though. You know they would. They'd been like, "What?
Yeah.
I'm like figuring out HD Rumble. I wanted to Mario Kart."
They'll bitch more about paying $10 for that. I was
That's
actually
true.
debating at one point because I was like, getting this, really nothing else. It's Mario Kart, the system. Pro controllers are sold out all over town here. So I was like, you know, I was mistaken. I thought Donkey Kong would also be out. That's not out till next month.
July. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, maybe I'll get the tech demo. And I read on the back, and I was like, when I got to like exciting games, like guess the frame rate, I was like, God, no,
Yeah.
not
Yep.
not doing that.
I surmise when there is the Switch 2 ambassador certificate, anybody that bought this game, this tech demo will get that ambassador certificate. But if you got $10 burning a hole in your pocket, get it. If not, you're not missing a whole bunch other than just some cool tech demos.
I'm gonna get it now because you made me. I'm gonna blame you. Okay, I want to talk about the Pro Controller now. The Pro Controller 2. So the Pro Controller 1, I was never a huge fan of it. I thought it was okay. I like the 8-bit do one's better. The Pro Controller 2 feels amazing. It's probably my favorite sticks of any controller. I love the thumbsticks on it. The D-pad I think is better than the Switch. It's better. It's not like amazing. It's not the best D-pad ever. Nintendo went from making the best D-pads in history to being like, no, not anymore. We're just not gonna do it anymore. You know that they know how because they've done it. But it's
They
okay.
have the patent on it.
Yeah, they have the patent.
They have the patent
They
on
could
the
literally,
D-pad.
and honestly, if you get the NSO controllers, like even the N64 had a really amazing. I had that right. Even the N64 controller has an amazing D-pad that you never ever use almost. But like after that, they just haven't made an. But if you get the NSO controllers, you can play with a pretty nice D-pad, or some of the 8-bit do ones have a pretty nice D-pad. But anyway, I really like the Pro Controller 2. I love it. It feels so much more premium than the Pro Controller 1. Like there's a huge, I felt anyway, that there's a huge
It's got a
difference.
Yeah, it's got a solid build quality. The little matte finish is pretty nice. I'm actually a really big fan of the
Delicious.
the triggers on it. Yeah, the triggers on it feel pretty good, including the back triggers, the programmable ones. Those are pretty nice.
Cool, yeah.
I haven't used those yet, but I should. I keep hitting them on accident, and I worry if I put something there, I'm gonna like do something I don't want to do.
Yeah.
I've never gotten
but
used to the flippers.
I'm impressed
Yeah,
that they were able to improve the build quality of it so much because like I
Oh,
really
it's
liked
so
the
good,
build quality
Logan.
of the first one too.
I was expecting to be disappointed because I had high hopes.
Yeah.
I was
I
expecting
understand
to
why
be
they-
disappointed, and I was not.
I understand why they didn't do it because obviously the regular Switch 2 controllers don't have it, but it would have been nice to get some sort of, like throw on the triggers, not just like a on or
Clicky-click.
off, but get some sort of analog on them.
Digital.
Like an analog trigger almost.
So, Jess, Daria, is this making you want to get a Switch 2 more?
Say I'm trying to before I get another console, I gotta get a laptop. So
Yeah, I feel you.
as much as I want one right now, I do need a laptop.
Priorities.
Yeah, I mean, it's less of a want and more of the fact that I'm a grad student and I have
reality.
like less than no money.
Reality.
Like if I had the money, I would have one.
Yeah.
But it's just not in the cards right now.
Well, eventually,
Well, that's where I'm at, too.
my friend code's on the Discord. It's also, if you go to breakmanx.com and go to my profile, it's also there. So you should add me on your Switch too. I haven't tried. Has anyone tried Game Chat?
I haven't yet.
I need to put a camera.
we need to
Apparently,
try
the
that.
microphone's really good, even if it's like far away from you. It apparently really picks up your voice, from what I've heard. I haven't had a chance to try. I saw Jack on it, and I almost game chatted you, but
You should
it'd
have,
been a lot
although
of-
it could have been my son.
it could. Well, it was like all the kids playing, and you would have been like heard like. So I didn't do it. How about those new Joy-Cons? I hated the Switch 1 Joy-Cons. I did not like them at all, and I really like the new Joy-Cons. Like I like them. They feel really nice. They're not like microscopic. The sticks feel better. Buttons feel better.
Yeah, I didn't hate the originals, but I do like these. Just the slight size increases.
Yeah.
You know,
I do hate
good,
the originals. They're too tight for me.
And I like
So
how it
I'm-
snaps on. I always felt like I was gonna break the. Even though I'm super
It's a-
gentle with it, I always felt like it was temperamental. Like not temperamental, but just I felt like
No,
if I moved it the wrong
magnetic
way.
is a nice,
Yeah.
satisfying, click on there. So
Some people have been
Very
afraid
nice.
that that's gonna actually break worse than the originals. How solid is that connection?
People,
I say-
let's see.
Oh, in the tech demo, in the welcome tour, it tells you that was done by design because they didn't want it breaking. So
Pay
there's one
$10
for you. $10 gave me that knowledge.
You find out how
It was-
your
it was
console
well worth
won't
it.
break in 5 minutes. But no, the new Joy Cons. I was expecting. Again, I always used to play with the Pro Controller. I can actually play with the Joy Cons in handheld mode and not hate it now. Like it's fine. I don't. It's not bad. It's not bad at all.
Yep. The new punishment, so to speak, is now one player gets since the Switch 1 controllers work with the Switch 2, the first player gets the Pro Controller, second player gets the Switch 2 Joy-Cons, and 3 and 4 get the Switch 1 controllers we got laying around.
With all the stick drift.
Yeah. Which is crazy. I don't know if you've seen any of the breakdowns, but it seems like they didn't
In
change
part.
a whole bunch on the Switches. Yeah, on the Switch 2 controllers. So that's
Yeah,
worrying.
so that I hope that's not. We have one that has because we got an extra set. We have one of them that has stick drift on it. The other 3 do not. And it's really irritating because Evie loves the Nintendo Switch Sports, and selecting those games sometimes drive her nuts if she's accidentally using the wrong controller because it's like a bee buzzing around to the different option.
My Switch 1 Pro controller got stick drift, and I was so pissed.
Oh no! Yeah, have you noticed that there's a huge difference between the early Pro controllers and the late ones? Because I have one from launch and I have a later one, and they look different. Like the transparency is a little bit different on the
Really?
shell, and they feel differently too.
I have a really late one because I got my Switch very late when I actually caught it on a rare sale. But I've been
Nice.
enjoying my Pro Controller.
I've heard that it seems like the originals are supposedly better. Or the earlier ones. I don't know if that's true or not because my earlier one has kind of had a spill, so that's why we got the second one. So it's hard for me to compare, but supposedly that's the case. All right, well I'm gonna have to get that now. So any other notable new games on the system? Fast Fusion we talked about with Joe from GameSack a couple weeks ago, the sequel to Fast RMX. I got that on launch evening. I haven't gotten to play it a whole lot, but it runs really well. It looks really neat. It's F-Zero basically. It's F-Zero gameplay with Wipeout looks. Pretty much you go real fast.
Nice.
You weren't expecting that.
So did you play more of that or F-Zero GX?
Probably F-Zero GX. And I have my GameCube hooked up, but I got the GameCube controller for it and I wanted to try it out. The GameCube emulation on the Switch 2 is really good. I think it's the
It's
best
great.
emulation of any of their systems that they've done. It seems to work really well. The resolution bump looks pretty good. The lag seems pretty non-existent. Frame rate's nice.
I played some Soul Calibur 2 and I played some Wind Waker, and those definitely look like very good versions of both those games.
Yeah, I like the Wind Waker better than the Wii U redo that has like the smeary, weird, hyper open aperture focus thing going on for it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I love Wind Waker. It's one of my favorite games, but that early game, the first 30 minutes, hour is so freaking boring. Like, hey, Grandma, I love your soup. Give me some clothes. Like,
until you get to that first dungeon, it's
high adventure.
Yeah.
But the rest of it's pretty cool. The rest of it's great. It's one of my favorite Zeldas.
I've got one. Jess, you've probably played more of this than I have at this point, because I've been struggling with other games. But Deltarune Chapter 3 and 4 are like I'm just maybe an hour and a half into Chapter 3 so far, and like they have such a lovingly recreated like Zelda homage that is really cool, and they do some really clever things with the fact that you have 3 characters in your party. It's like I said, I'm 90 minutes in and it's already got me back in like the mode where I'm like, man, Toby Fox, like he and his team like know what they want to do, and they are going for it. Jess, I like I said, I know you've been playing it. You could probably talk more about it than I can.
Yeah, I was stoked for it. I love Deltarune. I love Undertale. We've been waiting so long for these new chapters, which I'm totally fine with because I know how hard they're working. I have not gotten as far into it as I was hoping to get, partially because things came up, but also partially because I feel like Chapter 3, because I'm like right at the end of Chapter 3, I haven't gotten to 4 yet. I feel like Chapter 3 is harder than 1 and 2 were. Of like, I am dying more frequently, and not like all the time, but it definitely feels like an increase, because I went back and I played Chapter 1 and 2 again in the days leading up to this, and like I like sailed through 1 and 2 no problems, and I got to 3 and I was like, oh, I'm actually having to like kind of lock in and focus to like get through some of this.
I'm actually kind of glad you say that, because I thought I was losing my mind, because I was really struggling with the actual RPG fights, like the bullet hell kind of things that they have in there. And I was just like, man, I don't remember this being that tough. Have I forgotten something, or did I like really lose 5 years since the last time I played Chapter 2? But
give anything away, but there's one bit that it's not a fight, but it's like it's not a fight, but you're having to like jump and like maneuver, and I was very much struggling. It was the thing that took me like the longest to get through. And I think it might just be me that like you can't like pat your head and rub your stomach at the same time. Like I couldn't like jump and dodge what I needed to dodge, and then also like do the thing that it wanted me to do. So I think it took like 4 or 5 tries for me to like get through that level. But I am loving it. It's just as charming, and the characters are just as like straight into the heart. I love them so much. I will say, I think, and like I said, I haven't gotten to Chapter 4 yet, and I haven't completely finished 3, so my opinion could change. I do think that 3 is my least favorite chapter of them all so far. And especially going back and replaying through it, Chapter 2 is like my favorite thing ever. And I think it's just because the characters are so amazing. It's the one I've laughed at the most. The Queen is like one of my favorite like antagonists that there's ever been. Of like, she's just so insane and ridiculous, and it's so much fun. But yeah, it's a little bit more difficult. I think it's going to take me a little bit longer to get through than the first 2 chapters, but I'm having a blast with it.
Awesome. Yeah, I've heard through some friends that Chapter 4 goes some places, so I'm very excited to kind of get to that point. But yes, that's my plan for this upcoming weekend, is maybe spend a little bit of Father's Day just diving into that head first.
Awesome. I need to play Delta.
I got it. This weekend is Father's Day.
I still need to beat Undertale.
Jeez.
I was playing through it a while back, like a couple months ago, and I got distracted and haven't come back to it since, but I was really enjoying it, so I just need to beat it so I can start Deltarune.
Oh yeah, and I know that as soon as I get through chapter 4, I'm going to go back and play Undertale again. Like it has fully got me back into like that zone, and I'm loving it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I could see that happening in my case as well. But, all right, I'm enjoying it quite a bit, and I really haven't even gotten that far into it, so I'm excited.
Cool. Well, also hello to all the people watching us on TikTok. I know that if you chat there, we don't see it in the Discord, but I am there trying to look at it now. So if you chat there, hi, TikTok people.
We
Welcome.
got someone who joined named Tappy, and I think they're tapping the like button a lot. So thank you, Tappy.
Thank you, Tappy. Tap tapparoo. So, did you guys want to talk more about Deltarune?
I think I'm Deltarune out right now.
Okay, because
maybe when I get to the
it's
end of
great. I
chapter
just
4.
I don't want to move on if you're not.
Yeah, that's all I've got right now. Come back to me after I finish chapter 4.
Okay, it was really good. I don't want to cut you off because I do that sometimes. All right, so Switch 1 games on Switch 2. Honestly, this is like probably the thing I was looking forward to the most on the Switch 2 because the Switch 1 always felt to me like a system that just wasn't quite able to do what they wanted it to do. Like it was always Breath of the Wild to me always ran just didn't run well, and I didn't realize how much it was affecting the experience for me until I played it on the Switch 2. I freaking love Breath of the Wild now. Anytime I get a chance, I'm playing Breath of the Wild. I love the just walking around and like, holy crap, like what's that? There is so much like, oh man, I want to see what's over there. Like constantly, and it just I see now what everyone was talking about, and I wish I could have. I'm really sensitive to frame rate issues. I get nauseous, and so that game having an inconsistent and randomly inconsistent frame rate is like the exact recipe for barfing for me. And when I get that motion sickness, it takes a really long time for it to go away. I found this out during the GameCube gen because when I finally got a HD TV, those early HD TVs had significant lag on them, and that delay from controller to screen, I could not figure out why every first-person shooter was making me so nauseous. And then when I years later figured it out. I was trying to wear. People were like, "Oh, you wear sunglasses when you play, you won't get motion sickness." I tried that. That didn't do anything. But anyway, Breath of the Wild, all the Switch 1 games that I've played on the Switch 2 have played not only flawlessly without issue, but frame rate's been rock solid. They look better. Even the ones without a patch, but the ones with the patch, Odyssey, Link's Awakening, all those games. I'll let Jack talk a little bit more about Link's Awakening in a minute, but those games play so much, but it's like what they should have been, honestly, from the beginning. Like Mario Odyssey in 4K looks so great. I'm really excited for what is it, Kirby in the Forbidden World update patch that's coming out. That's Try's favorite game for the Switch 1 overall. And I've had it, but again, it was kind of chunky with the frame rate, so it was one I've been waiting, and once that patch comes out, I'll be beating that game. That one seems a lot of fun. But yeah, the Switch 2 backwards compatibility to me is completely undersold. It is so good for the Switch 1 games. And again, I've got a lot of Switch 1 games actually, and I've tried every single one of them, and none of them have had any issues, and they've all played better.
That's amazing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, on the Switch 2. And they look, I mean, the patched ones obviously are going to look significantly better, but even the ones that without the patch, just having a better frame rate and just running better makes such a, I mean, playing Breath of the Wild on the TV is great, but I'm not a handheld gamer, really, as I've said a lot. I'd much rather play those games on a TV. But having the Switch 2, I've actually been playing it a lot on handheld. And I know people have been, the screen's not true HD and this, that, or HDR and this, that, and the other. I love the Switch 2 screen. I think it looks great. I have no complaints. Everything looks great. Frame rate's great. Battery life is awful. But besides that,
I think it's pretty cool that you came around on Breath of the Wild because, like, I know you're not
So
big into
good.
open worlds, but like that game, I know does a really good job of like leading you and like guiding you and giving
Oh my
you lots
god,
of things to
it's
explore,
amazing.
so,
It
yeah.
reminds me of playing the original Zelda more than any of the other Zeldas because the original Legend of Zelda, like as a kid, I would just walk around for hours and just like you discover things and you'd be like, oh, what's this now? I can't get there yet. And that's how Breath of the Wild is. Like, it is the original Legend of Zelda. I'm even getting used to the weapons breaking every 2 seconds. Like, that's fine now, you know?
That's
Now that looks beautiful.
that's still a little
it's
much,
fine.
but
I still don't love it. I would prefer. I mean, I'm excited. I get the Master Sword, and then it won't. You know, that won't break. But you know, I would prefer the weapon breaking not be in there if I could choose. I would turn it off. But it's not bothering me as much as it did the first time. I'm strategizing a lot more with the fights, and no, it's great. Breath of the Wild is amazing, and I knew it was great. It just felt like, oh, this isn't for me. It's open world. But now, the Zelda notes I think are terrible. I just don't. I tried them. Go southwest.
they're-
Go southwest. I can't go southwest. Go southwest.
I forgot about that feature.
Feature. That's generous.
Yeah. I want to see how the sharing of monstrosities works in Tears of the Kingdom, because I think that could be kind of cool. But yeah, the actual the guidance is not great.
The Master Sword doesn't break, right? Someone was asking that. That's what I was.
No, it does break, and you have, or it loses its power. And
But you
have
can
to
repair
wait
it.
for it to recharge.
Yeah. I got a
So
flame
those fully
sword
break.
the other day. That was pretty cool.
Nice.
I haven't used it yet because I'm afraid it's going to break. But
Yeah.
at some point, someone's going to get a hot sword. But it's great. I love it. I love it so much, and I'm gonna play it as much as I can play it.
I started getting back into it with the Switch 2 too. I'm very shocked, like you are, Break. I'm shocked at how much they undersold the backwards compatibility. Like, you're right, Mario Odyssey, Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom. My favorite that I just kind of fired up and just kind of played around with was Link's Awakening, because
Yeah, tell me
Link's
about it.
Awakening, it looks so good. Like, the lighting is so much better. It runs 60 FPS. Like, it is exactly what I was hoping that game would be when it originally launched, because I was like, oh, they're remaking this awesome Game Boy game. It's one of my favorite Zeldas. This is going to be great. And then it's like running like maybe 30 FPS most of the time. Just like,
Maybe.
okay.
And the
this
resolution
is-
changes to like
Yeah.
120p.
Yeah.
It doesn't
it's
really.
It's not great. But just seeing like an actual, like having some horsepower behind it makes it look so much better. I'm actually kind of excited to go back and maybe play a little bit of Bayonetta 2 and 3 just to see how those look now, because like those are some of my favorite action games on the Switch 1, and
3
like,
ran
I
really awful. Did it?
Yeah, it
Yeah.
did. And just to see kind of what they can do with a little bit of oomph behind it. I will say, just as a Switch Pro, like it's
much.
really about, like, I wouldn't say you should just go out and spend $450 on a Switch Pro, but you know, for right now, while it's just a Mario Kart and Deltarune machine for me, having it as a Switch Pro also is a nice little side benefit.
I mean, it's the ticket to play Nintendo games. That's what the new Nintendo console is. It's the ticket to entry to be able to play the next Miyamoto created from afar, since he's
Do you think there's another Miyamoto created game left?
Hope so. He said he's gonna keep working until he dies. Like he said he's not gonna really retire.
I'm not doubting that. I'm just saying, like, do you think he's really got it in him to lead like a team, like for an original creation that he came up with?
I think he maybe has one more.
Yeah. I know he's getting up there, and he's going to amusement parks quite a bit right now.
He is. But like if I like had done what he'd done, I'd be riding some rides.
Yeah, enjoy it, man. You earned it.
That's how that's what they did before Super Mario Brothers 3. They went to amusement parks, and that's where the most inspiration came. So maybe we're gonna get another game on the caliber of Super Mario Brothers 3. I think that's what Jack's saying.
Let's hope. Yeah.
Yes.
Here's hoping.
Yeah. No, but the Switch 2 is honestly it's my favorite Nintendo launch since the GameCube. The GameCube launch, I loved the GameCube. I loved it the entire time. It's like with the first show, like all I talked about. The Wii, I liked it, but was ultimately a bit disappointed because I didn't like the waggle. I thought like every game that had the waggle could have been better without the waggle. The Wii U, I liked the games, but again, it like was a huge flop financially, so it never really got the support. The Switch 1 was great, but like I always felt it was underpowered, and if it was like, so the Switch 2 is like awesome, and I'm super excited to see. Nintendo is so good at optimizing their games and making them run well that now that they have some more hardware to play with, I just, having a brand new, Breath of the Wild came out on the Wii U. Like, we could get like a new Zelda game that's actually designed for the Switch 2 that could be really, really good. Super Mario Wonder was amazing. Like, another game of that caliber. Like, it seems like Nintendo's been really hitting late. Not that they haven't, but
let me throw out some potential criticism here for some discussion, though, because like I don't know if I could say this is my favorite launch, because like it does have like the potential that you're looking at it with, as far as it being like a good piece of hardware. Like it's a very good system, and it's portable, and it's got some great benefits and everything. But I've been kind of quiet as we've been talking about like other games and things that are on here, because like I'm just not excited to have more ports or just like upgrade my previously owned titles for an extra fee. I definitely still will do that on like the Tears of the Kingdoms. Haven't even started that thing yet, and I have it waiting, and I'll just take advantage of that now. But I don't know. Do you guys feel that? Obviously they still sold through everything anyway, so maybe it's a moot point, but there are a lot of people who have had their excitement kind of muted on the system, and I wonder if it might have served them better to wait for closer to a holiday release, much like when we sat out in the cold and ate those Maul burgers. Wait for a holiday release, but have like 3 decent titles
if
ready to go.
There would have been Maul burgers, I would say yes.
Okay.
No, but I think I totally get that I think it's a very valid criticism. The one thing that I would say is, because the Switch 1 performance was so not great, I didn't play a lot of those games like all the way through, because I got nauseous. So for me, it's playing a lot of really great games, I think kind of how they were originally intended. And I think if you have already played all those games all the way through, then it's not going to be as amazing for you. But I think that Mario Kart World is a harbinger of some really great things to come.
Yeah, I just think like the GameCube, when it launched, they had Rogue Squadron and Luigi's Mansion and Pikmin, right? I think Pikmin was really close
after. It was short.
Okay, they're like 3
pretty close
decent titles.
There were 3 games. A Super Monkey Ball was.
Monkey Ball. Okay,
I like Monkey Ball.
So yeah, so so there are at least a few new titles that were out to really kind of like put a mark, on the system, and give people a few things to pick up and cycle through, so you weren't just playing one thing like incessantly. Nintendo has already kind of gotten a reputation with the last few generations of being a system or a company that does repackage their greatest hits and sell them over to you again. There's some of their titles they've released 2 or 3 times before putting out another new title. Donkey Kong being one of them, but of course now we have a new one coming out, which is great.
Sony does that too. We've had The Last of Us like 8 times.
I do think
And
Yeah.
Xbox as the Master Chief Collection on like their last 8 systems.
Gears of War Reloaded.
Yeah.
Coming-
No, that's
coming
true.
soon.
But I mean, but if a new system launched, I've no doubt that Sony or Microsoft would have 3 or 4 new titles with some third-party support, right there, ready to go.
I'm with you, Maul, because right now it's thin, and who knows, like 6 months from now we may be just like whatever, like the games are there, Metroid's out, Donkey Kong's out, that new Splatoon they just announced, Splatoon Raiders is out, it's a little bit less of a salient point at that point, but for right now, absolutely, like if you don't want to play Mario Kart or you don't have the Switch 1 games you want to play through right now, there's really not that much in the library for you.
I was looking up the Switch or the GameCube launch really quick. The games: Luigi's Mansion, Super Monkey Ball, Wave Race Blue Storm, All Star Baseball 2002, Batman Vengeance, Crazy Taxi, Dave Mirra Freestyle BMX 2, Disney's Tarzan Untamed, Madden NFL 2002, NFL Hits 20-02, Star Wars Rogue Squadron 2 Rogue Leader, and Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3.
Dang.
I can kind of see
There's some real
logic.
highs and lows in there.
There's a few.
Madden 2002, so good.
All-Star Baseball 2002.
Even better.
Ooh.
Tarzan. Don't sleep on it.
I can kind of see some logic to what Nintendo just did with the Switch 2, though, because, I mean, for me, I do understand the appeal of, like, graphics and frame rate are a big thing for me, so it does kind of refresh the original Switch 1 games, but also, like, releasing just Mario Kart, I think it obviously blew up. It was, like, a really big game, so they sold a bunch of the consoles, but it also means that, like, when you release another big game later, you might have a chance to build up some more stock of more Switch 2s for the next big game release, and then the people that are interested in that one.
Well, who are the two Nintendo PR folks? They were in the Treehouse thing, and then they have their own podcast now. I was watching them the other day, and they were talking about how, because they were at Nintendo when Mario Kart 8 came out for Switch, that Nintendo was pretty surprised at how well that sold repackaged. It was kind of like a afterthought, like, hey, let's just get this out here. And it sold. I mean, it's the best-selling game for Switch. And they're pretty surprised by that. So I think that taught them, maybe to our chagrin.
It taught them some lesson. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd say it might be a moot point because they did sell through it all anyway. But like,
It's a valid criticism.
There's some discussion there. I don't know.
Yeah.
I would say that
agree.
I kind of agree with that too, because I wasn't going to get one either way because again, it was just too much money at the time, but I'm not feeling as much like I'm missing out. And like, I'm not as upset about the fact I don't have one because like Mario Kart's fun, but it's not like the kind of thing that I will sit down and play for like hours upon hours. Like I'll play it for a little while here and there as kind of like a cleanser type thing, but it's not something that I'm going to like lock into.
Yeah.
And
I see that
the
too.
whole, I don't struggle so much with like the frame rate type stuff, and I don't tend to play the like more difficult kind of games. Like I'm an Animal Crossing person. Like I like to chill. I like to have fun. I like to do like the Deltarune type stuff. So
This is also great.
like but like because of that, I'm more okay with sticking with my original Switch at the moment, and they haven't announced anything or like releasing anything that is like I'm feeling a deep pain in my soul that I can't play on 2. So I do think too it depends on the kind of games that you're looking for, the kind of gamer you are, because I'll get one eventually. Like I have no doubt about that, but I'm not feeling the same level of like I'm missing out as I did when I didn't have like the first Switch.
Yeah.
And like it took me a little while to get one. So there is kind of that level to it.
I feel you. I think there's basically one game right now. Mario Kart took on a bigger meaning for me with the kids because they love and playing all together.
Yeah,
but I have to
absolutely.
say, like before the kids, Mario Kart was kind of felt like Jess. Like I liked it okay, but it wasn't a game I was going to put hours and hours and hours into. But with the kids, it's like it takes on a whole new thing because we can all play together.
Before kids, it was Nintendo Muzak, and now it's actually like something the entire family wants to play.
Yeah. Although the original Mario
Yeah.
Kart was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and see, like I have the opposite of that, of like Mario Kart and like Super Smash Bros. And like all that stuff were things that I played with my brother growing up, and it was like always the two of us. And so now that we're like 3,000 miles away from each other, like that kind of thing is like I don't know. I still like envision that as like the thing that like me and him did,
Yeah.
and it's less of a like anything I would ever do on my own.
That's some pretty fun online Mario Kart games, though. Like,
Should we, since we're almost out of time, like mention Summer Games Fest since it's on the thumbnail?
I think so. Yeah, we saw some
Probably.
trailers.
Because I know we have a hard out tonight. And then I know Darria has a final thing. We'll get to it, but we should probably mention Summer Games Fest happened. A lot of things. I'll just quickly. My favorite new game reveal was Final Fantasy Tactics, the Evalis Chronicles remastered, because I love Final Fantasy Tactics. It's one of my favorite stories in video games. It's one of my favorite video games of all time. The remaster looks great. Looks awesome. The pre-order is sold out. The super massive amazing thing. Mecha got it, but the pre-order is sold out. So if you want that, you're out of luck. But yeah, it looks pretty cool.
Looks pretty awesome, and they've got the studio behind Final Fantasy 16 working on it. So
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
They have a lot of reverence for the rest of the series.
Yeah, I was thinking about getting it for the Switch too, but Suikoden runs at 1440p on the Switch too for some reason, so I'm worried that Tactics will as well. So I don't know. I'm gonna read a little bit about it. I would rather get it for the Switch too if I can. Otherwise, I'll get it for the PS5. All right, Jack, what was your favorite reveal?
So I got a tie. I know I put one down, but I'm going to cheat. So my number 1A is Keeper from Double Fine. I don't know if you saw this on the Xbox showcase, but it's essentially a living lighthouse, like platformer puzzle type game.
It looked interesting,
It looks crazy, and I'm always up for whatever Double Fine's doing. So like, just tap it into my veins as soon as it comes out. 1B. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying it's fun to see developers experiment.
Yeah, absolutely. And 1B is Lumines Arise that they showed off at the PlayStation conference.
I saw that.
I love Lumines.
I know. That game always reminds me of you.
There have been so many bad versions of, well, not bad, but mediocre versions of Lumines across the last like 10 years. Like the 360 version's okay.
That first PSP version's still my favorite.
Yeah, that PSP one is great. And this one looks like they took all the lessons they learned with Tetris Effect and crammed it into Lumines. And I think Lumines is like the perfect vehicle for that music plus puzzle plus block dropping stuff. I think it's going to be incredible when it comes out. And I'm very, very excited for that. That's going to be that's going to be crazy.
Maul, did you have a favorite new game revealed?
Well, I don't know if it was actually from that. I just happened to catch the trailer, but it'd be the Marvel. Was it Marvel Tokon?
Yeah.
Am I saying that right? God, that looks so good.
It does look good. Looks really good.
From Arc Systems?
Yeah.
Looks awesome.
Well, and I had seen they had the preview of the beat 'em up, which I remember that caught your eye a little bit when that came up. And I noticed that it was kind of taking some of the Capcom models and everything. I was like, let's really pick some of the pixel art from that game and reutilize it there. And it's pretty fun, whatever. And then I saw this come out, which takes the same kind of like model shapes, recast them in the 2D 3D hybrid. This is a classic Marvel vs. Capcom, minus Capcom fighting game with some new characters in it. Great looking animations. It just looks fantastic. So I'm super pumped for that.
Cosmic Invasion wasn't new, but I'm really looking forward to that beat 'em up, Marvel beat 'em up.
Yeah, right. That's the other one. Yeah. So, which there's a few of those. Where the hell's my Toxic Avenger beat 'em up, by the way, or Toxic Crusaders? They announced that like 2 years ago.
Actually, I think I saw.
Is it out now? Because they kept showing it off at all the PAXs.
I mean, movies coming out soon. I have to imagine they're going to try to do some
Crusaders
promotion there.
Have they been sitting on that for several years now, waiting for a movie that dozens of us will see?
Coming soon. It says coming soon. There's no date.
Yeah.
And then there's a little thing that says ha 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 Maul.
Yeah. Of course. Just as a side note, I'm also interested in seeing how that felt that boxing ends up coming out.
That looked really cool. That looks
Is that the Muppet game?
I was like, yeah,
yes,
I was like,
that's
is this
the Muppet game?
That looks
is this actually
ridiculously.
this textured and looks that good, or is this like they just filmed it with puppets and put a fake game overlay on it and are tricking me I'm going to get like a clay fighter or something instead. I don't know yet.
There were some people that were out there and actually got to play it, and they did say that is in engine, like it is not FMV. They got that in UE5. Like,
that's pretty crazy. Okay, well, I'm looking forward to trying it out then. Yeah, definitely got some Mike Tyson vibes off of it. So
just
the game, not the man.
Yeah,
but.
the trailer seemed just ridiculous. Like I'm here for that type of humor.
Yeah. So we'll see. That looks fun.
Logan?
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't tend to have a lot of opportunities to play these kinds of games, but I'm really excited about the idea of this one. It's Lego Voyagers, which is a little co-op game where you're like a 1x1 Lego brick, and you're rotating, hopping around the world, and you can pick up pieces and use them to like manipulate the landscape around you to make your way through levels. It's like a Lego platformer builder thing, which I think is pretty cool. Like they really leaned into the Lego aesthetic with this one. Like all the levels are entirely Lego, and the graphics, like they nailed the plasticky look, which, like I said, I'm a big graphics person. I just think it's a fun concept.
Yeah, there was a little game it's from the same team that did it. I'm trying to look and see which one it was right now, but it was a similar concept where it was kind of like a diorama almost of Legos, and you were just kind of going through a little bit of a just like not a life, but like a little journey with like a little Lego character like that. And this one is kind of like the spiritual sequel to that one.
Oh, okay. No, I'm gonna have to look into that. This is my first time hearing of the studio that's made it.
I'm looking it up, so I will blurt it out if I find it.
Awesome.
Nice. And Jess, I know what one you're gonna pick because it's on the list.
Yes, you do have the cheat sheet for that.
Yeah, I do.
No, there are a handful of like franchises that it really just doesn't matter what it is. If it's a new game, give it to me now. And one of them for me is Resident Evil. I'm such a sucker for anything Resident Evil. I will play it. I don't care if it's good, bad, otherwise. So I was super stoked to see that we are going back to Raccoon City.
Yes.
I cannot wait.
Pretty excited too.
Should be pretty awesome.
Love
the
Resident
game
Evil.
I was
Resident
the game I was mentioning
Evil.
is Lego
Right.
Brick Tales.
Okay.
Or no, I'm sorry, Builder's Journey. Builder's Journey is the one.
Oh, I
It's
found
on-
it.
Yeah.
That looks really good, actually. Yeah, they've got the same kind of graphical attention to detail there.
BreakmanX has been really going through all the Resident Evils. I think he's beaten just about all of them now, several times. He really likes
Yeah.
Village.
I thought the little intro they had, or the build up they had to RE9 was kind of silly, because it was like, hey, here's the hey, it's birthday, it's more, it's not ready yet, and then like finally at the end they were just like, oh yeah, here's RE9. Yeah,
I know what they were trying to do. In my opinion, did not work.
No. But hey, oh well.
Nintendo needs to
I'll still take
remaster
it.
Eternal Darkness. It was out of nowhere, but they won't, because I think it's held up in rights. But because it was that sequel that they made, they were going to make that was it Too Human? Was that the game?
Well, Too
Am I thinking
Human
of
came
something
out,
different?
and then it got pulled. They were trying. Dennis Dyack was trying to get something like that crowdfunded,
Yeah.
and then it turns out he had hired some sex offenders, and
That was it. That was it.
Well, they work cheap, so you know.
Yeah.
It's too bad, because I love Eternal Darkness. Such a great game.
Likewise.
Yeah. Reason to keep your GameCube. So
Yeah, I got my GameCube. I never know is right here. It's hooked up. All right. Well, we talked about Summer Game Fest, so technically the thing is correct now. But let's go ahead and head out, y'all. We gotta head. Jack, what would you like to say before we head off into the sunset this fine evening?
I'm going to defer my time to Darria, because I know she's got something she wants to talk about, and I'm 100% on board for this.
Okay. we'll give her the floor.
Oh, okay. So yeah, the thing I am most excited for is next Tuesday, FBC Firebreak officially releases. And so I watched the kind of like the even more in-depth like gameplay trailer last night actually, and it looks super cool. And they've already kind of like talked about what they're gonna have in like the fall update and the winter update. And I'm super excited about what that is going to entail. So I've never like played first person shooters, so like playing that game is like something I am super like excited to kind of explore, especially in that whole entire world.
I love to see you guys excited about things. That's one of my favorite things. I love to see you guys excited about a game.
That's why I was like, I wanted to get. I've been trying to play through Alan Wake, the first one.
I thought you beat that.
I just have one more DLC to finish.
Oh, that's right. You have the okay, that's right. That's right.
But so I can get to Alan Wake 2, but I just love that whole world that kind of Remedy has created and connected together, and I'm been so excited for this.
I just want to say 8-Bit Moss Player, thanks for watching. I know most people watch the rewind, so it's totally okay that you're gonna watch it later. So, and
Our
if you're watching it
still
later,
bad. Even if they're not live.
Yep. And you can comment below. Give us some comments if you like what you're seeing. Like and subscribe. If you subscribe right now, it'll show up here. Do play. Be very exciting.
As long as you have your subscribers.
As long as you have your privacy settings to who you subscribe public. But we'd like to get one of those before we go. So go ahead and do it. Why don't you do it while Maul's talking? Maul, what are you going to do this week?
Hey, oh god, it cut me off. No, what did I pick up this week? I got Daggerheart. Not a
nice.
video game, just tabletop. So those who are
Cool.
aware of Critical Role and their long-going online campaign where they've been playing D&D for years. Group of professional voice actors. Matt Mercer, of course, being the foremost of them, though a lot of the others have been in pretty prestigious work. Ashley Johnson, for instance, the voice of Ellie in the original
Last of Us.
Last of Us, and played her mother in the show, and was also that random waitress that Captain America saved multiple times in the first Avengers movie. But finally they broke away because of Wizards of the Coast and their strange copyright fiasco from last year. Made their own fantasy-based RPG, and that just dropped this week and is sold out everywhere. I happened to stumble across a copy of it the same way that I did my Switch 2, and have been learning the rules for it. So I'll give everyone a breakdown once I get a chance to actually play it. Lovely book so far, though.
Cool.
Nice.
Awesome. Very good. And Logan.
Yeah. So I don't remember how many shows ago I mentioned it, but I stopped really early on into Jedi Fallen Order because of the Ogdo Bogdo. So I decided
my God.
this week
That is an awesome
to
word.
pick it up again. Now that I have my new controller, and I'm like, because I was playing on keyboard and mouse before, so it was
Oh
like
my gosh.
the double whammy of not knowing I couldn't get around that
whole new
boss
world.
and playing on a worse input method. So yeah.
Ogdo Bogdo's no joke.
Ah, that's
No,
a great word.
yeah, and I didn't know you could go around it.
I'm just gonna start saying that word randomly.
Yeah, so I picked it back up again, and I've started playing it. So we'll see how that goes.
Johnny Graphics says he has a comment for Maul. I'm sorry if I missed it. If anyone else sees his comment, I want to try to fit it in before we head out. Awesome. And Jess. We've already done Darria. I didn't skip her. Can't get after me this time.
That's a good job, Rick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think my plan is just to continue to live in Deltarune Undertale world. I got a plane to catch next Wednesday, so I will unfortunately not be here. But no better time to be playing on the Switch than when you're stuck sitting in LAX for hours. So
Yeah.
we'll see how much I get through.
And at some point, Jack's idea, we're going to try to do some kind of game night. We're all going to play games. You can watch us get mad at each other. So that should be a fun evening.
And eventually, FBC Firebreak is also a 3-person kind of multiplayer thing. So we could also take turns doing
Nice.
that.
I
Nice.
think we should see if we can make something like that work for a live tour. So
That would be
That'd
fun.
be-
Yeah.
I'd love
even
to
if
do
we're all
that.
playing
Absolutely.
online. Yeah.
That'd be
Capture
great.
cards
Great
at some
idea.
point.
But yeah, no, really appreciate everybody watching. It's been really fun to do this new round of shows. I think this lineup that we have right now, I don't think we've had a better one. They've all been great in their own ways, but I think we have a really, really awesome lineup of folks. I love hearing what every single person on the show is going to say every week. All have cool stuff. But see you same time next week on the game show.